Which one did you write?
Lillie.
Who is that?
Huh?
Who's Lillie?
I'm Lillie.
Probably something really unique. So we left Dulles at 8 p.m. and we were on a Russian airline, and we joked, and the seat before us was this typical Russian guy, big, burly, business suit and that kind of thing. And then there were Cheryl and I. And then in the seat behind us was this really well-groomed, very professional black gentleman. Very, very well everything. And so, of course, we're flying for 10 and a half, 11 hours. So somewhere in the process of flying, he leaned up and he said to us, "Where are you headed?" I said, "We're headed to Moscow, to Russia." And he said, "Business or pleasure?" And I said, "Business." And so he sort of looked at me and he said, "You probably are going to adopt a child, aren't you?" Very quietly. And I said, "Yeah, we are. We are. We're headed that way." And there was some conversation. So when we get closer to landing, he leaned up and he said, when we get to the airport or when we get off the plane, he said, "Just sort of stick with me." He said, and we'll need to go through customs and that kind of thing. And he said, "I travel here a lot." And he says, I'll guide you through customs because I know that you're carrying money on you and that kind of thing. And I said, "Well, great." And he said, "You follow me." We walked up to the customs desk, and we were supposed to take everything we out, declare everything you bought, show all your hand. And he simply made some motions and made some snaps and talked to the customs guy, and we didn't have to do a thing. We walked right through with him, and when we walked through with him, he said, "Enjoy your trip here while you're in Russia," and he was gone. He says, "Do you have a driver to pick you up?" And I said, "Yes." And so he walked with us to the point that our Sergey, the family we stayed, was standing there holding a sign up that said Motley. And I turned to say thank you, and this gentleman was gone. I didn't see him walking away. I didn't see him going up through the concourse of the airport. I didn't see him anymore. There was Sergey holding the sign that said Motley. But this dude, whoever he was, whether he was an angel on that flight or whether he got us through customs, we didn't have to declare anything. We didn't have to lay out all our possessions. He made some comments to the guy, and the guy looked at us and said, like that, and we were through. But we've never seen him again. I never got to say thank you, sir, thank you, whatever. When he saw that we were teamed up with Sergey with our card there, he disappeared. He said to us on the plane, when we get there, "You guys stick with me. Just follow me and I'll get you through customs and take care of anything. I do this all the time." And we simply walked through just like we live there.
Going to Russia to get Lillie was very exciting and very scary. We'd never been to that country before, so you were afraid of what you would encounter, but at the same time, we were really excited and really focused on getting a new baby and having a child of our own.
We had worked hard and done a lot of preparation to get ready to go to Russia, and we'd only seen a picture, just a small picture. So it was exciting to be going and finally getting our daughter. And of course for me, I had never flown. So it was the first time I'd ever flown in a plane, and my first flight was like 10 and a half or 11 hours long. And I left this country at 8 o'clock in the evening, and I got to Russia at 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock the next morning, but lost a whole day. But it was exciting knowing that we were going. I think the one thing that made me feel really comfortable was we stayed with a Russian family, Sergey and Nagina. And we knew that we were going to be meeting another American family that was adopting a child from Russia as well, and we're all going to be paired up together. And so you're thousands of miles from the United States, thousands of miles from Gretna, Virginia, and the first morning that we went into the kitchen for breakfast, Nagina had on a Greensboro, North Carolina sweatshirt. So that close to us, and it just sort of made you feel at home. You thought, I'm close to home now.
When I first held Lillie, it was just like I had just delivered my own newborn baby. She became mine. She was a tiny little girl with just a little bit of hair, and she was not able to sit alone, even though she was 7.5, 8 months old. She really looked at us and became involved with us. But holding her, you could just feel our excitement about having her. She was in mismatched clothes, which, like I said, if you know me, that really bothered me, and no diaper, but we never worried about her soiling us. She sat in our lap, and we had taken some keys with us, which was a rattle, and she really played with that, which really tickled her daddy, Keith. He was excited about her holding those keys and participating with that. But she was just this tiny little baby, but it was just like you just had her. It was no different.
You were just so excited for this little girl to be coming into your life, and you just wanted her to grow up and, you know, be a little girl and that kind of thing.
I think I was just overcome with love for her that I probably didn't get past that moment.
And she came out, and she was a little bald-headed looking girl, and she didn't have much hair. And if I remember, she had on like a little printed pajama top and some kind of other little kind of pants and those kind of things. And she was just as bright-eyed and whatnot as she could be. But she took those keys immediately. It was like, you know, this is something, I like this. And she played with those a lot as a baby. And we still have those keys. But that was the first thing that she ever really attached to. But it was exciting because we'd gone through a lot. We'd flown and driven through blizzards and driven, you couldn't even see the road, and passed dead men on the side of the road, frozen, and all of this kind of thing to get to Mias to see Lillie. But it was exciting. And she was a bright-eyed little girl. She was a good baby. She was your typical baby.
Lillie was a good baby. She got used to being held. For about the first 2 years, I probably slept with her holding her in a rocking chair because she did not want that touch to go away. She wanted you to hold her. And even Brenda Osmond or Graham, who kept her, can tell you that. For Lillie to take a nap, you just had to sit down and hold her. Because once you laid her down, she popped right up and looked at you like, oh, I'm awake. I'm not laying in this crib. It took her a long time to adjust sleeping into her crib. But I mean, over 2 years before she'd really sleep alone.
I remember she didn't sleep well. I remember Craig coming out one night about the first 2 or 3 months we was home, and everybody was up, and it was about 12:30, and he said, we got to do something with that baby. It needs to be some sleeping around here tonight. Because she didn't like to sleep, you know. She just didn't like to sleep. Or she was a night owl. I guess maybe that's what it was. Maybe we didn't realize that way back then, but she was really a night owl like she is now.
She was not afraid to do things. She liked to try new things, swimming and the trampoline and swinging. Oh, she loved to swing. Her most favorite thing to do when she was a little girl was to swing in her swing.
She didn't get into all the hoopla that, you know, you thought she would. She had her certain things, her dancing or piano or something like that. I remember her being, like when she started kindergarten and all those little things, you know, she was a little prissy thing, loved to wear hair bows and all those kind of little things. So she was your typical little girl. She always would wear all these little cute outfits and that kind of thing, and she enjoyed going to kindergarten. She
was an interesting child. She always had some fears going in a store. If they announced that the store was going to close, she would totally panic. I mean, just strict-driven panic would come over her face. Like, we got to get out of the store right now, Mommy and Daddy. We got to get out now. I mean, almost to the point if you were in line to pay, she didn't even want you to stay in line to pay. And I think she thought they were going to lock us up in there, or they were going to separate her from us and she wouldn't get back to us. One of us just had to leave out of the store with her. You couldn't stay in the store with her. Very active little girl. Quiet. Lillie was Lillie.
She was like a typical little girl. If you didn't get away, she let you know it, you know.
Well, Lillie had her little temper, and if you told her she couldn't do something, a lot of times she would stomp and march and say that she was going to leave home. And she would generally get as far as the church and go to the church steps up there. She's really never caused a lot of trouble. Not got in a lot of trouble. Not even as a teenager was she in. I mean, did we have our arguments and not get along about certain things? Yes. And she definitely let you know that she didn't agree with your side of it. But eventually, I think she would realize that what we had told her was in her best interest. Although it didn't come out immediately, it took her a little while. But now she had a temper. She She could yell. Her and her daddy had more escapades, and I learned to let her yell and not say anything. In about 5 minutes, she would come and apologize. And I learned how to manage her that way. But, as she's gotten older, that's kind of gone away. And you see, Keith and I talk about it many times, we see the benefits of what we taught her, that she really did realize that that wasn't the right behavior.
She was your typical girl. She and I probably had, not that we had a horrible middle school and teenage, but she was your typical teenage girl as far as relationship with her daddy. If I said no, she was determined it was going to be yes. If I said yes, she was determined it was going to be no. And we probably had our share of knockdown, drag-outs, because she was determined always to get the last word, regardless. She was going to get the last word, And she was just like that. She didn't conform to what you'd want her to do. If I said, oh, I really, wished you'd do this or that, she was going to do the opposite because she just had her own little mind. But
as far as getting in trouble with typical teenage things, no, she just didn't.
She didn't really get into trouble. I mean, like, do anything that was real troublesome. She was a messy little thing. Like, if she played in her room, it wasn't just with the doll and playing. It was everything, all over the floor, every which way. And then when you said, let's clean it up, she's like, yeah, I got something else to do. And when they played Barbie dolls and Polly Pockets or something, I mean, it was thousands of them. But the frustrating thing is when she got through playing, she was just through playing. She wasn't worried about who was going to clean it up. That was the kind of thing she did. Or she, as Cheryl said, she'd have that little temper, well, I'm going to leave home. I'd be like, well, dude, bye, we'll see you. And she'd go out the door and she'd go up here to the church and, then she'd come on back. But I can't really say that she ever got in trouble. She was just stubborn.
I've known Lillie since I was 2 years old and she was 7 months old. So 20 years of my life. Her parents decided to let Graham babysit Lillie, and I lived with Graham. So we just met through Graham, but then we became friends because she was with us 5 days a week. From before we went to school, we would be together all day, and then we would go to school. Graham would pick us up. We would come home. She would be there till her mom got home from work. So we literally were together every single day.
I've known Lillie for about 3.5 years.
I've known her as long as you've known her.
For about 3.5 years.
I mean, it's been a few years now. I mean, I don't think I met her until y'all started dating.
Since y'all were still talking. Back when she was just the girl with the little blonde striped hair and dark brown hair, brunette.
Way too long. I've known Lillie way too long. Way too long.
How long have I known Lillie? Let's see. Well, the same amount of time y'all been dating me. 3 years and some change.
I've known Lillie for almost 4 years now.
When I first met Lillie, I thought she was very quiet, but very sweet.
She's a pretty cute girl. Seems quiet. Seems pretty cool.
Well, before I had met her, I thought she was really nice and really sweet because I'd known her through you. But when I first met her, that definitely confirmed it. I thought she was cool. I mean, she kind of kept to herself, I liked her a lot. If she made you happy, she made me happy.
Definitely really quiet. The longer we've gotten to know each other, I mean, definitely opened up a lot more, and I mean, it's always been a pleasure hanging out with you.
My first impression of Lillie was nothing.
First impression of Lillie, I was like, go ahead, Dylan. That's my boy, bro. Go ahead, Dylan. I see you, bro. I see you.
When I first met her, I thought she was really shy, but she seemed like a sweet person.
Well, I used to call Lillie my little Russian, and I feel like I was the only person who was able to do that and she wouldn't get mad at. Lillie's always just been that person that's comfort, a sister. That I just grew up with her.
She's really nice, really quiet, really shy. She's a really good person. And it was just fun. She was really shorter in comparison to me. So it was funny. She seemed very nice.
My favorite thing about Lillie, I think that she's just unique. She's just her own little self. And I like that she is willing to be who she is. And that's just something that I love about her. Plus, I see a little bit of me in her, even though she wouldn't own up to that. I see a little bit of me in her. Her stubbornness is a whole lot like her mother.
When her savage moments, especially when she's being Josh, Whenever she beats Josh or just says anything kind of sassy and witty, it's very funny. Because you don't expect it from her, because she's very shy. So it's always good to hear her roast somebody. Comes out of nowhere, it's always a 10 out of 10 roast.
Her laugh, the way she laughs at herself when she makes a joke that she thinks is so funny, that like diabolical, like, oh my gosh, like I'm hilarious laugh. Her laugh. So funny.
She's really fun to be around, and she gets involved with everything. Hanging out with everybody, she's really fun to be around.
I love how Lillie looks unapproachable, but she's so down to earth and so real, and she's just as beautiful on the inside as she is the outside. And she's fearless. I love that about Lillie.
Her ability to just destroy Josh and Blaze Blue, you know, it stands out when someone can talk the talk and walk the walk at the same time.
My favorite thing about Lillie would be nothing.
Lillie's really nice, you know. She always be concerned about others. She always be like, oh, hey, Josh, you know. I'd be like, hey, Lillie. You know, it's really nice. You know, Lily's just somebody that can warm your day up just by telling you, hey. So,
in all honesty, probably that she likes Pokemon and Bulbasaur. You know, we both kind of like that, so I think that's pretty cool.
She has turned into a real thoughtful young lady. And I guess that's always been there. She was like that as a child. And if you're looking around, little things that she did when she was in preschool and that kind of thing. And then she went through that time of being a teenager that you thought, well, she doesn't give a rip. But I have noticed that she has turned into a real thoughtful young lady. It's like she thinks about what she wants to do for you or for me, or, you know, if she's going to give you a card or if she's going to give you a gift. She puts the thought into it. I don't feel like she just goes and picks it up and says, well, here, this solve. She puts the thought into it. And I appreciate that. I've seen her become that way.
Me and Lily's best memory was when we went to the Florida Keys and we were leaving the hotel, and me and Lily saw this like wheelchair lift to get from like the top to the bottom. Well, Cheryl was still in the room packing up stuff, but me, Lily, and Keith were going out to take stuff to the car. Well, me and Lily thought it would be a good idea to get in the wheelchair lift and ride it back up to the top just for funsies. Well, it got stuck, and so we were trying to climb out of it, and this person was like walking down the hallway, and me and Lily were both like, duck! And we like ducked, got down, and we had to climb out of it, broke the wheelchair lift. It wouldn't work. We took off running. We were dying laughing. Keith was dying laughing, and Cheryl was like walking down the hallway, and she was like, what are y'all laughing about? And Keith was like, nothing. We didn't do anything. I think we told her eventually, like on the car ride home, but that was so funny.
Probably one time we were playing Clue, she got really mad that Dad won that quick.
Yeah, when I graduated and you took pictures of me and her and uploaded them, and that was like making jokes and stuff like that.
The one that I remember first is probably kindergarten or first grade. And of course, coming to Gretna, it's a small town. Everybody knew she was adopted and she was from Russia and da-da-da-da. And so she was in kindergarten. I remember we were eating dinner one night, and I don't know what the kid's name was, but she was like, well, Johnny in my class said today that his mama said I was adopted and I was from Russia. And we just sort of stopped and thought, uh-oh, where's this going? And I said, well, what did you say? She said, well, yeah, big deal. What's it to you? Or something like that. And she said, I just kept on getting it. Well, I thought that was cute because she's probably in kindergarten or first grade, and you're just frozen, Dylan, thinking, oh, God, what did she say? We got to go up there tomorrow and talk to the principal. And I said, well, Lily, what'd you say? And she said, I said, yeah, I am. So what? Big deal. Or something like that. And she said, and I just went on and did what I was doing. So I thought that was cute.
I have a couple fond memories with Lily. When I would pick her up in Gretna and bring her home to see you, we had nice little talks. I learned a lot about her. I learned about her likes and dislikes.
Going out and playing Pokemon with y'all.
Well, I do remember that one time out at Blake's when she was sleeping Josh in that game. I think I took one match off of her, but she beat me. Playing Super Mario Party at my house.
Going back to all the times that y'all have come over to my house, she's always given Echo the love and attention he desires. Again, every time she beats Josh and just getting Josh so worked up over it, you know, it's always so fun.
I think my favorite memory of Lily is when she came back to us It's my favorite memory of Lillie.
I'll never forget her reaction when we had the bonfire. It's like right after y'all started dating. It was the first thing that comes to my head. And it was like our first time meeting her, and then her first time meeting a certain person who shall not be named ex-girlfriend had came over and had roasted a mutual friend of mine. And Lillie's reaction was like, wow, that was really mean. Yeah, that was just like the first thing, at least in my head, that like, I was like, okay, Lillie's a real one. Got my back because, that person was me. Mostly, a lot of them had to do with her roasting Josh.
There's a picture in the den downstairs of a trip we made when she was 4 or 5 years old to Gatlinburg. And we were staying in the cabin, and there was this big rock out front of where we were staying, and we've got this little picture of her just sitting there like this with her hands under it. And I remember when I took it, I'm like, well, what you doing, girl? And she says, I'm just thinking. She was about 4 or 5 years old, and she said, I'm just thinking. And she's sitting there. I always think of that because I see that picture down there. And that was the same day that she didn't want to go shopping that day. And we all were going to go shopping, and she didn't want to go. So she stayed with Uncle Bill about 4. And we didn't think anything about it. Bill's cool. But when we got back, she said, Uncle Bill didn't watch me much. She said, I watched TV all day, and he went all day long. So that's cute.
My specific fond memory of Lillie would be nothing.
Oh, man. I don't know. I think Lillie might know. She probably know. Let's just say your boy can't escape from crossing fate.
Her first recital, I think we all thought it was miraculous that this little girl was out there in a leopard suit dancing with her ballet shoes. And she was excited about it, and we were excited about it. And as time went on, they became fond memories for us. I think the next thing was moving her to college. I never thought she would do it. And she did.
I would have to say that there's nothing unique about our relationship.
I guess I didn't realize that she paid attention to a lot of little things that I do. And you know me, and most everybody knows me, that I'm real type A. I want it just right, just perfect. It's got to be magazine, detailed to the whatever. And I thought she never paid attention to any of that, but she did. And so she'll, take pictures of things and make comments and of things I've done around the house or in the house or out in the yard and that kind of thing. And I think that's sort of unique. I never realized that she paid attention to that kind of thing or even cared. Or it's like if she buys you a gift or something, she'll come to me and say, now I want this wrapped really, really pretty like you do, okay? And I just figured she never paid attention to it, but she did. I think now that she's grown up and she's in college, we have a better relationship that we can talk about things. And she's willing to listen, and I'm willing to listen, and that kind of thing. And we have better talks now.
I think the fact that we've literally grown up together and known each other since we were babies. We know everything about each other, everything everyone's been through. Like, we've been there for everything for each other.
Lillie trying to steal my boy. She needs to stop trying to steal my man.
She's dating you, of course, but if I dye my hair back blonde, then she might come, rolling back on in.
Something unique is we might be sisters one day.
It's unique that she came from a faraway country, ended up in a very small town, but I believe that was God's plan because I even had a dream about her going to a foreign country and getting her, and I believe that with my whole heart.
Actually, yes, we do have an inside joke.
We have like Lupe and Tangerine Bear, Liniment.
We have the inside joke kind of like I'm kind of stealing his girl.
Counter.
Our beds in our house are all high poster beds, real high, so that you can really. So when she was little, one of our favorite games was to climb up under the beds and play. We'd play like we were on a train or something, going somewhere, or we were in a cave or something like that. So that was sort of our little inside joke because I am claustrophobic and cannot stand to get on a closed-in space or a cave or anything like that. But we used to have some good times crawling up under the 2 big high beds in our house and playing like we were on a train or something. Where that come from, I have no idea, but that was just something that she enjoyed doing and that kind of thing. We'd get under there and play for half an hour or an hour or more when she was a little girl.
Our inside joke would be that we hate each other.
That one where she thinks that Dad looks like Bob Ross. That's a good one. Not really an inside joke, but she gets it when we call him Bob Ross.
We roast you some.
Probably at my secret money. I told her as a little kid not to, that Mom always had secret money when you wanted things that Dad said no to, that Mom had money hidden. And I said, but you don't ever tell Daddy. Of course, we were at the store one time and she wanted something and she said, Mom, could you use your secret money? And I'm like, it's not secret now if you tell your daddy.
Look, I already hear the counters coming out. I hear him. What's that? Counter. You know, I can see her piecing me right now.
I just want Lillie to know that no matter what happens in life, where we go, how far apart we are, I'm always going to be there for her, and she'll always be my little sister.
Well, I just want her to grow up and be happy.
Sometimes I look back and think I was probably too rough on her when she was a teenager or a middle schooler, but that's because I wanted her to be perfect. You know, I wanted her to be the perfect little girl and have the access to every little thing that life in a small town has for her. And some of that she wanted and some of it she didn't. And I used to get frustrated at her and because she wouldn't listen. But, you know, all along, I just wanted her to know I never quit loving her. Even when, and we had some really knockdown and drag outs because she was a stubborn little cuss. And I could be just as stubborn as she. I never quit loving a little girl. And now I see how she's turned into a really cool young lady.
I hope you and Dylan have a great life together.
I wish I could be fearless like Lillie. Lillie tries lots of different things, and she just goes for it. And if it's something that she wants to try, she tries it. And she, to me, is the type of person that's like constantly taking a leap, and it's always a leap of faith. And I wish I could be more like Lillie when it came to that. One of the smartest people, but she's not arrogant about it. She's not boastful about it. She doesn't brag about it, but she is so highly intelligent. And to all that to be wrapped in such a tiny little package, and she's just...
I'm glad you're dating Dylan, and I'm glad, you know, y'all are together and everything, and I'm happy that, you know, I'm just happy you guys are together because, you know, you bring him a lot of happiness and all the family and everything. So I guess thank you for kind of coming into everybody's lives and changing it, you know. Believe it or not, you did, so.
Yes, there's quite a bit I'd like to tell Lillie.
If y'all have kids, name one after me.
Lillie knows I love her to death. She's always family. She always will be family. I have her back, as we all do.
The cutest, most beautiful, kind soul, just like the whole package. She really is the whole package. And Lillie tries really hard to be mean, but she can't be mean when she makes the mean faces. I see her making a face at Doug behind his back. It's so cute. It's so cute. Lillie is very giving. You know, she treats Dylan the best a mother could ever hope for. I love Lillie.
We joke and we carry on a lot together, and I wouldn't take anything for that. You know that I love you very much. I am so thankful that you are in our lives, in Dylan's life. It makes me feel so much better that y'all are together, especially in Richmond. Leaving him in Richmond was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And knowing that y'all are there together to look after each other, to take care of each other, is very comforting to me.
All I'm saying is, Lil, 1v1, you gonna catch that smoke? Dylan about to get switched, so, you know what I'm saying? Shoot. I'm glad you treat Dylan right. I'm happy about that. You're definitely a person I can see him with, and I'm glad you guys are rocking strong.
Keep your head on straight. Journalism isn't something I would do, but all power to you, especially with today's climate and things going on in life. We need good journalists. I believe she can do that. Stay motivated, stay focused, and keep on keeping.
Lillie, I love that you love Dylan. I love that you bring out that nurturing, warm side of Dylan, and that y'all seem to bring out the best in each other. And what you do for our family as far as the warmth of your presence.
Everything I said in the beginning of the interview, is just in jest and joking. You know how much I love you and how much I look forward to you being in our lives for the rest of my life. I think Dylan is a much better person for being with you and being around you. I think y'all complement each other very well. And I'm just very glad and happy that I've known you for the last 3.5 years.
Keep doing what you're doing. Don't change. And I really appreciate all the times that you've acted normal around all of us, because there's so many times where one of the guys gets into a relationship with someone and either they don't interact with us at all or act differently around us, and it's different when someone actually is themselves. It's always appreciated and it doesn't go unnoticed.
Just that I'm glad that she came into your life and my life and everyone's life. She's brought you a lot of joy, and that I love her.
I love Lillie. I love Lillie. I love Lillie a lot. I think that Lillie's one of the greatest people that I've ever known. And I think for her to be, for you to have found one another as far away as y'all have come from each other, to have found each other, I think that Lillie's just very kind-hearted and very sweet. I would love for Lillie to learn how to cook so she could help me at Thanksgiving. So that's the goal, Thanksgiving. Next year, Lillie. 2019.
But anyway, she talked yesterday about y'all getting married one day. That's the first time I've heard that from her. And I thought that was kind of unique. And that's what I want for her, to have a happy life like I have.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, she knows that, her daddy loves her, and I want her to be happy, and take the path that suits her, and I'm just really pleased that she's found you, because she loves you to death, and you're a good fella, and I know you've looked after her, and you've gotten her to do some change, and so I just I'm proud that I never thought she'd go to school in Richmond. I figured I'd have to go down and pack up everything in 3 weeks and bring her home, because I really wanted her to go to school in Randolph or Lynchburg so I could check on her every week. But I'm just really proud of how she has grown up and developed and taken that life and is making her way. I'm just proud of her for that, because I truly thought I'd go get her in 3 weeks and bring her home, and take her to Lynchburg and enroll her and whatnot, but she fooled me. And I think you've been a help with that, and she's grown up herself, and I'm just proud of her for that. Probably the only other thing is, before she's 30, I'd love for her to learn to drive. But I don't want her to do it till she's ready. But before she's 30, it'd be nice if she learned to drive, and I could give her my car so I could get her a new one. You better.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Got these parents crying.
Thank you, Keith. You're welcome, dude. You're welcome. All right.
I love you, Lils.
I love you, Lillie.
I love you, Lillie, very much.
Love you, Lillie.
I love you, Lillie.
Love you, Lillie.
I love you, Lillie.
I love you, Lillie.
Love you, Lillie.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Lillie.
Merry Christmas, Lillie.
And Merry Christmas. Merry Chrysler.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I love you, Lillie. Merry Christmas. Every day that I spend with you is a better day, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my days with you by my side. I love you. Everyone here loves you, and you love you. Merry Christmas.
I do love myself. I think I feel very comfortable with myself nowadays, and I'm happy with the way that I am. A lot of people are so judgmental towards others, but I try not to be. Even if I don't think what someone is doing is right, I try to understand why they're doing it. I think the fact that I try to make everyone I know smile and just make them happy overall. I like it when other people help out each other, even in times of need. I think everyone should be helpful. The homeless, I think everyone should help the homeless. I could just try to get people to open their minds more, maybe, and stop judging and hating on everyone. I think everyone should love each other
Like, I think everyone has a little bit of good in them. I think if I could help other people see that, I think that would be good. The people that I'm close to and me always try to lift each other up, and I think that's what makes me feel in touch with them, is that we try to send positive vibes to each other.